Many games get overlooked in the video game industry, but none hurt me as much as Insomniac's masterpiece, Sunset Overdrive. Now I am fully aware that my experience with this game is very unique and one that you are very unlikely to have. This game is very special to me, and although I have no doubts that most people will love this game if they play it, I doubt most of you will love it anywhere near as much as I do. To make this clear to you, I'd like to provide you with some lore. When I was at college, I was very miserable. I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life, but I knew there were certain things that I didn't want to spend my life doing, and it had become clear to me that this was the path I was likely going to go down. My time at college is actually the primary reason why I started this YouTube channel. I had lost all motivation in my studies, and I was very down in the dumps. My friends were all doing different subjects to me, and I just felt very gloomy. I honestly consider these years to currently be the worst in my life, which probably shows how overall easy my life has been. But anyway, I was very unhappy at this time. Not only that, but the things that I would use to escape from reality, such as films and games, weren't able to distract me anymore. So things were quite dark for me at that point. And then along comes this bright, vibrant, silly, over-the-top, fun game called Sunset Overdrive. I think you can probably see why I instantly fell in love with this game. This game could have been a piece of crap and I'd still have fallen in love with it. But fortunately, the game is actually great. Of course it has its issues, like for some reason you can't start a new game. I'm pretty sure that you can go back and choose to replay certain missions, but you can't start the game over. It's a baffling design decision and a really annoying one because I wanted to replay the game again and couldn't because I just couldn't figure it out. Again, I'm sure there is a way, but it's a very anti-user friendly decision and there's a reason why it hasn't caught on. Let me put it this way, the only other game that I played that didn't let you start a new game was Assassin's Creed Unity. So I think that says quite a bit. Now there are a few reasons why Sunset Overdrive didn't set the world on fire. Firstly, it's an Xbox exclusive. And let's be honest, Xbox aren't really known for having the best exclusives. Well, once the Xbox One was released, so you can put down your chainsaw shotguns and go back to humming the Halo theme. But obviously, being an exclusive reduced the eyes on this game, and since it wasn't Forza, many Xbox fans couldn't be bothered to try it, which is fair enough. Most people play Xbox for the multiplayer, whereas PlayStation is where you go for the narrative-driven single-player games, or at least that's how it's always come across to me. Now, if Sunset Overdrive had come out on PlayStation, do I think it would have been a huge success? No. I think it might have been more successful, maybe being as popular a game as either Horizon Zero Dawn or Days Gone, but I don't think it would have been a God of War or Insomniac's darling Spider-Man. Why? Because Xbox did promote this game. I still remember the adverts for Sunset Overdrive. I remember that they even showed some in the cinema, although I do think the adverts were pretty crap, because they never actually showed any gameplay footage. And I, someone who only had an Xbox at the time, saw these ads and further gameplay footage and thought, nah, looks kinda naff. Now I can't remember why I didn't like the look of the game, but I think it's probably because I thought the game would be kinda cringy, as if it would be this edgy but also really silly game with annoying dialogue and unlikable characters. So essentially, I thought the game would be Borderlands 3. Look, I know I was wrong, but I'm sure other people felt the same way, as Sunset Overdrive did get very good reviews and was received very warmly, but unfortunately didn't sell enough copies to justify a sequel. Maybe one day Insomniac will drop Sunset Amplified on the PlayStation for us all to enjoy, but it doesn't look like that day is ever coming soon. Maybe if they remake or just remaster Sunset Overdrive for the PlayStation 5, then maybe it might do well enough to justify a sequel. I've spoken quite a bit about a lot of circumstances surrounding the game, now let's talk about the game itself. Insomniac Games are a great studio and are very popular with gamers, most notably for their Spider-Man game that was able to live up to and even smash some people's expectations, but also for their iconic Ratchet and Clank games, which while clearly aimed at a more younger audience, still have great gameplay and are beloved by even older gamers. Unsurprisingly, the gameplay in Sunset Overdrive is amazing, and one of the core aspects that should definitely draw you in. You may not be swinging around the city, but moving around the open world is still fun, especially due to the cartoonish nature of Sunset Overdrive's world. You bounce off cars, grind rails, and can run on walls. You can even run on water in this game. Well, for a little bit. I've never enjoyed travelling in a game as much as this. Usually, open worlds kind of suck. I love third-person open world games. They are usually my favourite type of game, but most of the time, going from point A to point B is kind of boring. Yes, it is relaxing, and I do enjoy driving in open world games, but there is also a reason why everyone has accidentally gotten Franklin killed in Grand Theft Auto 5 by driving too fast, or how everyone has been thrown off their horse in Red Dead Redemption. It's because we were impatient and wanted to get to the next mission as fast as possible. If we enjoyed the traversal gameplay more, we wouldn't be rushing to get to the next mission. It's the whole reason fast travel exists. Sunset Overdrive is different. Traversing the world is such a joyful experience, and you can tell that the developers at Insomniac really focused on how to make not just the missions, but the entire open world fun to experience. Something that proves they were certainly the right choice to helm the Spider-Man games, as many people note how fun it is to traverse that open world, mainly due to the refined swinging mechanic. Additionally, there are enemies scattered throughout the open world, who are pretty easy to defeat. It's always satisfying defeating them and watching them explode with a comic book splat or pop appearing as they explode into orange fizzy gore. I said that I thought Sunset Overdrive would be what Borderlands 3 ended up being, but fortunately the game is really funny. Obviously comedy is subjective and there's every chance that you will bounce right off this game, but for me, the humour works. The tone of the game is very silly and the jokes reflect that. The characters are also very silly and in some ways quite dumb. Again, the game is going for a specific vibe that you'll either gel with or not. I personally love the vibe. Also, the voice acting is top notch in this game, with Spider-Man himself, Yuri Lowenthal, playing the protagonist of the game. The game also features a character customizer, so there's something for you guys to go to ham with. You can really go to town and make some twisted monstrosity in this game. Meanwhile, I'll try and make someone who looks like an upstanding gentleman. There's also a wide variety of weapons at your disposal. The reason I got the game was because I had just played Dead Rising 4. I know Dead Rising 4 is not everyone's cup of tea, but I enjoyed it quite a bit. Although I must confess that it's the only Dead Rising game that I've played, so who knows how I'd feel about it if I played any of the other games in the series. But anyway, due to the vast array of weaponry in that game, I thought I'd play Sunset Overdrive, as it too had some crazy weapons for you to get your hands on. Do you want a sprinkler that instead of water shoots acid? Do you want a gun that shoots vinyls instead of bullets? Do you want to put your enemies to sleep with an explosive teddy bear? Well, you can in Sunset Overdrive. Insomniac showed with the Ratchet and Clank games that they are very creative when it comes to guns, so it should come as no surprise that Sunset Overdrive also excels in this territory. And just like the story, characters and humour, the weapons in this game are very silly. Speaking of the story, it is perfectly nonsensical. It's dumb. People are drinking this new sugary drink, but instead of rotting your teeth, it rots your whole body and turns you into some weird monster that wishes to feast on even more energy drink. I'll be honest, I can't remember the entire story, but it doesn't really matter. It's the zombie apocalypse, except instead of crazy monkeys, it's soda. Like I said, this game is silly. There are also some really fun boss battles in this game that take advantage of the traversal mechanics. This is a game where you've got to keep moving, otherwise you'll be swarmed, and the boss battles continue this trend. Keep grinding to win the day is this game's motto. Is Sunset Overdrive one of the greatest games ever created? I don't know. Probably not. But it is a really good game and a really underrated game at that. It is a loud, bombastic, bordering on the right side of obnoxious kind of game, and it made me happy at a time when I wasn't, and for that reason this game will always occupy a special place in my heart. Even if I can't figure out how to start a new game, like seriously, what is up with that?